All right, so I'll go ahead with our, let's get the show on the road.
Super duper.
Have you been wanting to write a book but never had time? Now you do. With a simple plan, you can write a book that attracts ideal clients to your business. Dr. Paul Newton will share his template for writing a good book that showcases your business while entertaining your ideal clients with your successes. Please welcome Dr. Paul Newton.
Thank you, Paul. And it's a pleasure to be here with everyone here today and sharing the formula for how to put a really good book together that really focuses on your business and builds your credibility, but also entices your ideal clients to get engaged and to become part of your following. And the way you do that is you have to write a book that pulls people in and really connects with them on an emotional level. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. Now, I know that in the world at large, around 80% of people want to write a book at some point in their lives. And it really depends on where they're at and how they feel about their business, their knowledge, what kind of book they want to write. So I know that when I speak to a group, there's going to be some people that are interested in getting started on this project. The big thing is it's an overwhelmingly large project and people don't know where to start, how to do it, how to keep on track and actually just finish it because there's so many moving parts. And what I'd like to do is just share a simple way that you can get things rolling. And if you put your mind to it, just follow through with a little bit every day and get a book that you can get out there. And I'm not talking about your life's work, you know, the big thing that's going to be memorialized for you after everything's said and done. I'm just talking about something that you can get out there and use right now. And I know we all want to be proud of what we're working on, and this is something you can do. What I'm going to share with you is a way to start working on this now that we all have time, because we all know that we're in this time where we are social isolating or social distancing and not going out and doing all the things that we want to do. All the projects that we have put off, all the things we've wanted to do are staring us in the face, and we're faced with the fact that now we have to actually give up all our excuses and get down to it. So if you want to write a book, here's what you do. If you're a business owner, an expert, or an entrepreneur, and you've been thinking, I have expertise, I have a system or something I want to share with people, and I want to grow a community, or I want to really become a leader in a field, then this is for you. What you do is you want to think, who am I writing to? And this is the big thing that most people forget about, is that there is an ideal reader out there, somebody who is going to be inspired by your message, somebody who's going to say, that's for me. And you have to think about that person and think about their problems, what they want, like their hopes and dreams, and how they see the world. The way that you do that is look back through your history. Like, how have you helped people and interacted with them in the past? How have you changed people's lives? And this is where the inspiration really happens. Let me turn off the notifications here. There we go. There we go. So how have you helped people in the past? And if you look at your biggest successes, the ones where people have just been so grateful for the transformation that you provided, that's where you get the real juice for what's going to attract people. Because you can do all sorts of things, provide services and goods to people, and all that is a goods or a service, like something, it's going to be something they pay for, or a transaction. But when you transform someone's life, you create an emotional change. You create, you bring them from a place of struggle to a place of happiness, of getting what they want and desire. And when you can achieve that in a story, that's what's going to really turn people on to what you have to offer. And everybody can do this. The way that you do it is you look at, what was your biggest success? Now, if I think about things that I've done, I think about people that have come to me and thought, geez, I don't really have that much that's special about me. And I don't really have anything to really offer. And I can think about a number of people that have they really downplay what they do. And one lady that I really, really love, she's a relationship therapist out in Victoria, and she helps people that are on the verge of divorce pull things back together, even if one person is almost all the way out the door and the other person just is hanging on by a thread. And what she told us was, there could be people that they're living in the same house, but they're totally living separate lives. And one of them would come in and just say, I want to make things work, but every time that we talk, we end up in a fight, and I don't know how to connect or how to say what I want without ending in a screaming match. And when she would tell us about the changes that she could get in just one interaction by helping a person change that one little reaction they'd have a whole other interaction with their spouse, and then talk about how after that all their conversations changed and they ended up getting back together and having the relationship that they always wanted but never had. My business partner, and I would be so inspired that we wanted to work with her. And she was so humble, and she wasn't sharing this. She was just talking about the different steps. Like, she'd talk about, oh, we just used speaker listener technique, where you hand back and forth a little like token, like this pen, say, and it's like, you have the floor, I have the floor. And that's a technique or a tool. But when you use it, what happens is a transformation in a relationship, and people end up with getting what they want, like getting their whole life back, getting the relationship they always dreamed of. And she didn't know that she had this power. And after we came up with story after story about all the people whose marriages she'd saved, we came out with this really powerful book that not only told you how to do it, but also inspired you that, geez, I'm not even that bad. So if they can get helped, then I could get helped. And this is what I'm talking about, because most people, when they want to write a book, they start talking about, oh, here's this technique for doing this, or here are the steps for achieving this result. And yes, we want to see what results you can get and what you can do, but we really don't want the academic approach to it. We're humans. We love connecting with each other through story. And stories go back to the beginning of time, like when people were painting on cave walls and they didn't even have language, and they were using pictures to show what happened at the hunt and what happened, well, in the days that they were gone away from the camp. And that's how they communicated and then passed down their history and helped humans connect to each other and create this community. And that's what we can use now. It's got a powerful energy and it draws people in. So if you want to write a book, what you want to do is gather a big list of stories. So think about maybe your top 10 interactions that have really changed people's lives, and write that list. So you end up with a list of 10 people or 10 situations where you had really great results. And then think about it. What was going on in the person's life before they came into contact with you? Were they struggling with something? And if they were struggling with something at work or in their business life, how was that affecting them at home? Because that's where life really happens, right? How would that have been affecting their relationship with their wife or their husband, or how much time they had with their kids? Were they struggling with long hours at work and never getting home to spend time with the family? Were they neglecting their health? Were they not getting to do the sporting activities that they really like, not taking care of themselves and just watching themselves go downhill, getting sick? What was really going on? And then when they started interacting with you, what changed? And what got better? And how did you help them to start seeing what they really wanted to see in their lives? And as they started to get those results, like say the couple that were living in the same house but never talking, what started happening? Did they actually start to maybe go on dates? Did they get a babysitter to take care of the of the children while they went out and spent time just building that fire that they had, the spark that they had when they first started dating? And you know, did they have a stronger relationship than they did when they first got together? What happened? Because everybody wants to know those things. They're more curious about, well, tell me what happened to them. Did they live happily ever after? That's what the reader is more interested in than, oh, well, first you do the speaker listener technique, then you do you do the 5 things that show love every day, and then you do this. Yes, they're interested in doing that, but they're more interested in knowing the end of the story, and if the guy got the girl, and if they lived happily ever after. And if you can incorporate those things into your book, it doesn't matter how technical your subject. You could be writing about astrophysics. As long as you have really good stories about real people situations that show a problem that gets solved, you're going to draw people in and make something that's really interesting and really enticing to your reader. Now, with a book, when you have your book that is your tool for your business, what you do is you use it to build your business. Making money off book sales is a really hard way to make money. The average book gets a royalty of about $1 or $2. So if it's selling on Amazon or it's selling in the bookstores, like 80% of the cost of the price of the book is going to the seller, and then and also to the cost of production. And then there's a royalty that's split between you and your publisher and everyone else who's taking a piece. So getting $1 or $2 per book, you're going to have to sell a lot of books if you want to make a living. So it's not a good way to make a living. The way that you make money with your book is you give it out. Hand it out to anybody and everybody that is an ideal reader for that book. Because when you have a transformation that can really change people's lives, and you have a service that backs that up, then you end up with customers for life. People that will talk about you, will hand your book on to other people, and will become lifetime clients in your business. The other thing that you do when you have a book is you speak with your book. If you're a speaker and you have a book, those two things go hand in hand. And if you're already at the front of the room getting the authority of being that speaker, and then you say, and here's my book, and you've got it on every chair in the room, or everybody can download a copy, or you're mailing them out to people, then what happens is you've got the authority from the front of the room, you've got the authority as an author, and that book stays with them, especially if it's a physical book. We don't really deal in ebooks so much, but we do produce them. But if you have a physical book, people keep them. And I have, like, there's people in our Toastmasters group who'd seen me speak somewhere before I'd met them in Toastmasters, and they're like, do you know what? Like, I have that book. It's still sitting in my bookcase from that time that you spoke. And then I didn't know who you were, but I was like, that is cool. He has a book. And then, you know, a year later or 2 years later, after we've been interacting at Toastmasters, they're like, yeah, I still have that, because people don't throw out a book, and they keep it around. And when it's time for them to actually take action on what you're offering, they'll call you. That's what a book can really do for you. Now, I have a formula that I use, and I know everybody's different, and everybody has different things they want to bring to the world. And you don't want to necessarily make things formulaic. You don't want to think that, oh, I just wrote something from a recipe and put this together and it's going to look like everyone else's. That's just not possible, because what you're bringing, your stories, the things you do, and your uniqueness, how you transform people's lives, when you put it together in a framework, it's going to create something totally different. What the formula I use, it's just a plan. And my formula is called the Right Book Template. And what it does is it helps people to write the right book that connects with your audience and helps to build your business. And I'm really, really proud of this thing. Maybe I can share it on my screen here, but it's a PDF that I've been working on for a number of months now, just to get it just perfect here. And it's almost ready to go, but I want to share it with you guys. So let me see if I can share my screen. Share screen. There it is. All right. here we go. So here's the Write Book template. Are you guys seeing that? I hope so. And what it has is, you can see it, great. It has how to position your book, how to figure out your transformation that you're offering, the signature system that you have. So it has all the things that you want to do for marketing and positioning your book. Then you tell your $1 million story, which is the story about you and how you came to do what you're doing and why. Then you get your book's title and subtitle, which is really a headline that's drawing your ideal client in. And then I show you how to go through your topics brain dump and get all the different things that you think that your ideal reader needs to know about, so that you can get all that information out there and start sorting it. And once we have it all sorted, we can go into creating your chapters. And I suggest that you have about about 10 chapters, because it just gives a nice round number to work on. And the ideal size for a book of this nature, something that you're going to give away, is about 120 pages. And 120 pages is going to be about 25 to 30,000 words. And just to put that in perspective, you're looking at about 2,500 words a chapter. So if you've ever written any papers or essays, like 2,500 words is kind of reasonable to think about. You know, it's not something that's too difficult. So if you take each chapter and look at, okay, I need 2,500 words, and then you, I'm going to go back to my video here. So, can't figure out how to go back to video. Am I still sharing my screen here? Pause share, there we go.
Yeah, I can still see.
Do you see me now, or it's just my screen?
No, I see you on your screen.
Okay, anyway, don't know how to go back to, anyway. So if you think about it, if you have 10 chapters, each one's 2,500 words, what we do is we break each chapter into 5 subtopics. So now you're only looking at 500 words per subtopic in the chapter. And some of those subtopics might be stories. So you just have to write a 500 word piece. And if you have 10 chapters and each one is divided into those 500 word subtopics, it's really only a bunch of little mini essays or articles that you have to write, but they're stringed together into this system of how your book is put together. And then we show you how to write your introduction and your conclusion, so that you're tying it all together. And from start to finish, what you're doing is you're taking an ideal reader who's actually your ideal client, and you're walking them from the problem that they have through the way that you solve your problem and the system that you use to do it, to the ideal life that they're looking for in the end. And you tell it with story. You show them that you've had success with people just like them. And as they read this book, they go, wow, you know, there's been so much great insight here. There's so many things that can help me. And I know exactly who I need to turn to for the solution to this problem. And that's the whole thing, start to finish. And when I work with clients, what I do is I help people come up with their stories. I help people learn how to tell their stories and get them to come across right with the exact wording that's going to reach their ideal client. And it's just something that I really like doing. Something that I learned probably as a chiropractor, and connecting with people and understanding the emotional connection, how people respond to things. And so I hear what someone's saying, and I think, here's how you could say it better so it connects to people more. And then what we do is we help people put their chapters together, and whether you want to write it or you don't want to write it, we can help you get that book done. I also provide ghostwriting services for people, so that if they're not writers or they're too busy, then what we do is we just meet by phone. We get the stories, they tell, you talk to us, we do the writing for you, and then we give you something to review. We give you drafts of each chapter, and you make your comments and we change it for you. So you can either write your book or we can write it for you. And either way, we're holding your hand start to finish, right from the first word to a published book in your hand. And that's how we work with people. But during this time of social isolation, more time on your hands, the best thing that you can do if you want to write a book is just start telling your stories. Start talking about people and transformations that have happened in their lives because of their interactions with you. And if you do this, sooner than later, you're going to have a whole lot of words that you want to string together, and you'll put them together into your book that you can start giving out, and just watch your business grow when life starts getting back to normal. So on that note, I'll hand it back to you, Paul. And if you have any questions, or if you want to get hold of this template, just send me a message. It should be ready by the end of this week. We have only a couple of final tweaks, and then it'll be good to go. And I can't wait to share it with you.
That was so good. I have to take off, but thank you so much, Paul. I really, really enjoyed the content. Like, really enjoyed it.
All right. See you later, Lori.
No problem. Thanks, Paul, for having this.
Thanks, Lori. Yeah, Paul, that was an excellent presentation. Thanks so much for sharing your insight and knowledge about creating books. And I'm still figuring out this whole Zoom thing myself, so it's all good. I did actually have, had 4 questions for you based on your presentation today. The first question I wanted to ask you is, what do you think of using the use of visuals in your book? So for example, having like pictures and, you know, how much, say in each of your chapters, like how much is too much, or what do you think of using actual visuals in your book?
You can. We typically only put a few in, and for cost purposes, if you can keep them in grayscale, that's the best, because books are print on demand, right? If you have something in distribution in Amazon and in bookstores, if it can be printed on demand, like, which means that it's not in print until somebody orders it, and then like some printing machine just takes the file and prints up your book. The cover is in color, and then the rest of the book is in black and white. That's the cheapest way. As soon as you go to a color image, then you end up in the in that 4-color printing process, and the cost skyrockets. And that can make it a lot more difficult to use the book as a marketing tool, because then, you know, people start becoming interested and just wanting to recoup those costs. So if you can put a picture that looks good in grayscale, and so basically any photo can be turned into that, and we have some people that have done it. That works. Diagrams are good, like images. What I encourage people to do if they want to put more elaborate pictures and charts and things in is it just include links and make the book kind of interactive through a website. And that's really good because it gets people more connected with you. They have to go log into a website, probably give some information, contact information to you. And that's a really good thing, because now you're a step closer to interacting with them to turn them into a client.
Okay, excellent. Now, do you think you should be giving, if say, for example, you're talking about one specific area, like let's say you're a coach and you're providing, you know, strategies, do you think you should give out all your tools and your strategy in the book, with the idea that, say if you're a coach, you're going to be doing one-on-one coaching, and that's where you're going to be providing more of your customized service, but do you think it's you should give all your everything out in the book, or do you think you should leave some of that for you know, for your actual clients?
Yeah. See, this kind of bridges the old sort of marketing strategy where everybody was selling information, you know, and it was just sort of this the information was the currency online, and people would just give you just enough, and, you know, here's the secret to this, but I'm not going to tell you all the rest of the steps because you need to get that from me. And I think that created a lot of sort of a lack of trust between the person that is trying to engage in the information and the provider of it. And those days are gone. Like, people want transparency. And if you give all, like, if you're totally transparent and you give it all to them, what you'll find is people actually aren't really looking for the information. They're looking for the actual transformation, the result. And they want to know that they have the right person to help them. I mean, there's tons of self-help books out there. There's tons of do-it-yourself books out there. The number of people that actually pull things off by using those books is probably a fraction of a percent. You know, there's still tons of people. Like, I mean, with all the self-help out there, we still need all our therapists, our counselors, and everybody. We still need our experts, because, I mean, you know it, Paul. You can read all the books you want on do-it-yourself investing, and there's still no lack or shortage of business for you. So you can share all your secrets, you tell people what you're doing, they're still going to want your help.
Yeah, and people don't know what they don't know as well too. And I think that people, that everyone has their area of specialties but they're looking for guidance and advice in there. Maybe they don't know so much about as well. So that's when people are willing to obviously pay for services that they're looking for, they really want and need, and know can help them grow. So I totally get that.
I'd add to that, just if you tell a couple of really good stories about, say, how somebody was trying to do things on their own, and how much money you saved them, or how much more money you made them by sharing your expertise, those things just do wonders. Stories like that, and again, it's the stories, not the system or the information.
Okay. Now we have a common friend who wrote a book, and he uses for his introduction, he uses the word best-selling author. And what do you think about strategies of to establish credibility using those types of terminology? Do you think that's valued, or do you think that people kind of roll their eyes and about that? What are your thoughts?
Anything that you can do to position yourself or give yourself more credibility is good, and I encourage people to do it. We still do that for clients. We'll help them get a bestseller spot. We can do that on Amazon, and the way that Amazon works is that they get bestseller spots by the rate of sales per hour, or in a certain time frame. And so you'll claim a bestseller spot in a category during a certain time frame, and the first thing is you have to prove that you got it right. And Amazon's cracking down on all the different misguiding information that's being put out there. So if you can't prove that you were a bestseller, they're going to take your book down. And so what we do is we'll get that bestseller spot by launching a bestseller campaign and getting the book sales to spike during a time frame, which is it's challenging getting people buying just at the right time, and making sure you have a category you can win in. But that's something that we've learned to navigate. So we will do that for our clients that want it. And it still does. It still does grab people's attention when you say best-selling author, and that's why people do it. But it's definitely getting more known that it's not the hardest thing to pull off, and that people didn't necessarily sell a whole ton of books. So it's one of those things where in the marketing field, people are starting to get more savvy and ask for better quality products, better, more transparency, more authenticity, and they just want real people that are really out there to help you. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, excellent. My last question is, so if I'm looking to publish a book with you, what would be looking in terms of cost, like from start to finish, for committing to your because I know you have a range of services. You have like 3 different levels of service, but could you give us a rough idea of what that range would be, like if someone was looking to publish a book?
Well, if you have a manuscript, if it's just ready to go, and what you need is you want it to look really good, look professional, and be professionally published. We publish under the we have 4 names we publish under, but mostly we focus on Celebrity Expert Author or Expert Author Press, depending on what our clients are into. And if we're simply publishing and doing design and layout and the positioning of your book with you, that's that product package is $2,500, and that's pretty much standard. If you look through all the different publishing companies, they'll be offering different prices for just the publishing, but then it's usually like if you want different things done for you, they're all add-ons. What our basic publishing package includes is the design of your cover and layout, the layout of your book, so that it's formatted properly and looks really good. We can do editing for you, But again, that's not included in that package. But if you need that, we can do that. And it just depends on the length of the book there. I can't give a price for that. But we'll also help you with your title and subtitle and getting it listed in Amazon properly with the product description that makes you look really good, and making sure your back cover copy really sells the interior and really makes you draw the customer in. So those are the things we'll help you with on that. And that's the $2,500 publishing package. If you need help writing your book start to finish, that's around a 6-month process. And usually publishing your book on top of that will take anywhere between the 6 months to a year. So writing and publishing, usually people, if they're good and they're fast and they get everything turned around right on time, they can do it in 6 months. But most people take up to a year to do it. And we'll meet on a weekly basis. We'll review your manuscript. We'll help you construct the ideas and the stories for each chapter. And we'll also do provide editing in that package, and all the design, layout, and positioning of your book. We help you with the ideas from start to finish. That package is a $15,000 package. And again, like getting that much help and hand holding, there's a lot of programs out there that say that they're doing it. Most of them are done in group, and you're just watching videos and being sort of instructed that way to do it. We're working with you right on your manuscript. So that's the mid-range package. And then the book written for you by a ghostwriter in your voice with all your content. It's all the same thing. We meet on a weekly basis, except you're not doing any writing. And there's a ghostwriter that's working along with you, and you just have to give your insights on it. And then the whole thing's done for you. That's a $25,000 package.
Okay, well, thanks so much, Paul. I'm going to actually show, this is your book right here. It's called The Expert Author Effect, which you kindly gave me a copy at Toastmasters. And you can, Paul can reach, I think I put it up on the screen, but it's at celebrityexpertauthor.com. So we can, people can reach out to you through, I assume through your website. So do you have anything else you want to add, Paul, before we end the call today?
I'm really eager to get my book template out to people because I'm really proud of it. It's really awesome and it's something you can fill out, and it'll give you basically guidance on everything I talked about today. And I think it's just a great tool to get started. And I'm also just really happy to talk to anybody that wants to flesh out ideas. I love getting to know what makes people tick and what makes people unique. So if you have any questions, please reach out. It's my pleasure to talk to you. And I honestly just do it because I love getting to know what people are about and what makes their business unique.
Excellent. And Paul, it's Paul at drpaul.com. Is that correct? Your
drpaulnewton.com.
drpaulnewton.com. Okay, perfect. Thanks. So they can reach out to you there. Well, thanks so much, Paul. This has been very insightful, and I really appreciate the fact that you even at Toastmasters you had reached out to me and helped me like just volunteer your time and expertise and helping me improve my speeches and things like that. And definitely look forward to working with you. I'm hoping to put together a book with you as well. So we've already started that process, and I think this is this great your expertise and it's really quite a formula that you follow for this process. So really appreciate your insight today, and I'm going to try to post this on our group so other people can listen to that may have slept in this morning.
Yeah.
And so we'll definitely thanks so much for sharing your knowledge and expertise. And again, if you want to check it out, it's The Expert Author Effect, and they can reach out to your website or to you directly. So thanks again, Paul, for joining the call this morning, and we'll look forward to chatting with you again.
Thank you, Paul. Have a great day.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.